Welcome to Arjuna Talks. Today's topic is on minimum wages. Some common queries are: if no minimum wages is fixed for an industry, what would be the rate of wages? Can an employee claim arrears of minimum wages? Can employer pay consolidated wages instead of dividing into basic and variable DA? Today's session consolidates questions from various queries received related with minimum wages. The question is whether the minimum rate of wages as well as Minimum Wages Act are applicable to all establishments. I mean shops, plantations, commercial establishments, factories, etc.
Minimum Wages Act and minimum rates of wages are not applicable to all establishment or to all employments or to all industries. It is applicable only to those establishments for which minimum rates of wages have been fixed by the government. The word employee is defined under Section 2I of the Minimum Wages Act. And as per that definition, an employee is a person who is employed in a scheduled employment for which minimum rates of wages have been fixed by the government. Then what is a scheduled employment? Scheduled employment is nothing but it is a list of employment given in the Minimum Wages Act. In the Minimum Wages Act, there is a schedule in which more than 80 employment, different type of employments are included. And it is the duty of the government to fix minimum rates of wages for the employment included in the schedule. And Minimum Wages Act will be applicable only to those establishments included in the schedule, that is, in the minimum wages schedule, as well as establishment for which minimum rates of wages have been fixed by the government. So there are two conditions. One is that establishment or that industry should be included in the schedule, and a minimum rates of wages should have been fixed by the government for that employment. Unless and until these two conditions are fulfilled, Minimum Wages Act will not be applicable to that establishment. Minimum rates of wages have been fixed for shops and commercial establishment, for plantations, that is cardamom plantations, tea plantations or rubber plantations, and for different other establishments like printing press, hospitals, or fish canning industries, or construction work, or even computer software industries, or rubber crepe mill, so and so. There are so many establishments for which minimum wages have been fixed, and all these establishments are included in the schedule also.
The question: in case no minimum wages have been fixed for an industry or employment, then what would be the rate of wages payable to an employee?
In case minimum rates of wages have not been fixed for a particular industry, wages can be given to the workers based on the agreed wages or settled wages. What is agreed wages? Agreed wages is wages agreed between the management and the concerned workers. What is settled wages? Settled wages, if if a union is functioning in the establishment, regarding the wage rate and the other allowances to be given to the employees, a settlement can be arrived at between the union and the management, and such a wage rate is called settled wages. Similarly, the employee, after mutual discussion with the employees, can have a wage rate, and the workers are working in the establishment and they are carrying out certain duties and responsibilities as per the direction given by the management. And once the employees are engaged for work, they are entitled for wages also. So the wage rate can be fixed either by a settlement or with a mutual agreement with the concerned employees.
The question: what are the two major components of minimum wages fixed by the government?
Usually, in the minimum wages prescribed by the government, there are only two components. One is basic wages and another is variable DA. Variable DA is fixed based on the consumer price index. If there is any variation in the consumer price index, then naturally there will be variation in the DA also. So variable DA is calculated based on the consumer price index published by the statistics department periodically. Based on the up and down in the consumer price index, the variable DA will also change.
The question: whether an employer can pay consolidated wages instead of dividing minimum wages into basic and variable DA.
Yes, an employer can pay consolidated wages or consolidated salary. It is not mandatory that the wages should be divided into a basic salary and variable DA as per the minimum wages notification. In one case, the Supreme Court has held that consolidated salary can be given in place of minimum rates of wages, provided the total amount given should not be less than the minimum rates of wages. In that case is Air Freight Limited versus the state of Karnataka. In that case, the Supreme Court has observed that minimum rates of wages is fixed based on the requirements or the necessities of the worker. So it is a single pay package. So it is not amenable to split up. That is the observation made by the Supreme Court. So there is nothing wrong to give a consolidated salary instead of dividing the salary into basic pay and variable DA.
The next question: will it be legally permissible to divide minimum wages into basic, variable DA, HRA, and other allowances?
Yes, of course. You can divide or you can segregate the minimum wages into basic pay, variable DA, HRA, and to other allowances. The Supreme Court in Hindustan Sanitary Wage versus State of Haryana, it was a recent case, has observed that minimum wages can be divided into or segregated into various components. There is nothing illegal in segregating minimum wages into basic pay, variable DA, HRA, and other allowances.
The question: will it be beneficial for an employer to segregate minimum wages into basic, variable DA, and HRA?
Segregating minimum wages into basic pay, DA, HRA, and to other allowances are beneficial to the employers because while calculating bonus or gratuity, only basic and DA components of the wages are taken into account. HRA and other allowances are excluded at the time of calculating bonus or gratuity. Similarly, at the time of payment of EPF contribution, only basic pay and DA are taken into account. HRA is exempted. Similarly, if all the employees are not equally eligible for a particular allowance, that allowance can also be excluded while calculating the EPF contribution to be paid to the EPF fund. HRA can be up to 20% of the basic salary.
The question: can employees claim arrears of minimum wages from the employer?
Yes, employees can file claim petition before the authority under the Minimum Wages Act, claiming arrears of minimum wages. If an employer is not paying minimum rates of wages to his employees, they can file a claim petition before the authority, claiming the arrears. If such a petition is filed, and if it is proved that minimum wages are not paid to such employees, then the employer may have to give the arrears as well as compensation up to 10 times of the total arrears. Now, arrears up to 6 months salary can be filed by filing a petition under Section 20 of the Minimum Wages Act. And in the new wage code, the 6 months period is raised to 3 years. And if the workers are filing a petition under Section 33C2 of the Industrial Dispute Act before the Labour Court, the entire arrears without any time limit can be claimed. That means the employees under Section 33C2 of the ID Act can file a claim petition before the Labour Court. If such a petition is filed, the entire arrears without any time limit can be claimed.
Thank you for watching Arjuna Talks. We trust Arjuna Talks is able to address your queries. Should there be any doubt on topics related with labor laws, employee wages and benefits, ESI, EPF and other statutory compliances, labor disputes, wage protection system, payroll, etc., feel free to reach us on acplcochin@gmail.com and do call us on 934 999 881 or 91420 57416.